Hello, welcome to the program. First tonight, how the tide has turned against the Director of Public Prosecutions, Paul Rofe. This week has seen the release of a damning report from the Solicitor-General over Mr Rofe's inept handling of the Nima case. A report which also raised serious concerns about the plea bargain deal in the Schmidt case. Now, both issues first raised and covered in detail by this program as we examine serious flaws in our justice system that had been allowed to go unchallenged. As Graham Archer reports, with Mr Rofe now on sick leave from his duties, another high-profile case he handled is also about to go under the microscope.
In Australia, and I include all states and territories, including South Australia, we are so smug and complacent about how fantastic our court system is that we need an urgent wake-up call.
The primary focus is always a search for the truth.
It's inevitable we will have victims of crime, but it's unforgivable to have victims of justice.
I work within the criminal justice system. I'm a forensic pathologist. But yes, we can make mistakes. And by facing up to those mistakes, we strengthen the system. We don't weaken it.
It should be all above board on the table. I mean, after all, we're not talking about a Spanish Inquisition or a tin pot dictatorship. We're talking now about a healthy democracy.
Over the past few years, Today Tonight has raised many concerns about our justice system, most notably with regard to the prosecution of Henry Keogh.
I find it difficult to think that there'd be many, if any, other pathologists in Australia who'd be comfortable with proposing a murder scenario in court and saying that's what I really think this case is. And for me, I need to be able to, get to sleep at 11 o'clock at night and have 8 hours sleep, so that's not the sort of thing I could have done in this case.
Problems in the prosecution case also led us to examine the conduct of the Director of Public Prosecutions, Paul Rofe QC. Despite claims that his department was overworked and under-resourced, we discovered the DPP spending much of his working day at the TAB and drinking coffee.
What about the gambling?
I don't regard it as a problem.
There are also rumours that you had lost large sums at the casino.
Yes, I've heard those rumours.
They're not true?
No.
Predictably, we were pilloried by many lawyers who saw it as an attack on one from their own profession, rather than a legitimate check on what was appropriate behaviour for the state's chief law officer.
Firstly, I think you owe Mr Rofe an apology.
On what score?
Well, in view of what you said, now's your opportunity to apologise.
Now, the lynch mob mentality which politicians and the media exhibited towards Keogh seemed to have focused on Paul Rofe himself, this time with some justification. And it was on this program that Rofe's failings in the Nima case were first revealed.
They handed in the wrong one.
They handed in the wrong gun.
The gun that they talked about in court that day was not the gun that was shot Jeff.
I was shot with.
So, who handed in the wrong gun?
Paul Nima, supposedly.
We don't know. We've never been told.
It was also this program that revealed the factual flaws in the plea bargain accepted in the Schmidt case, a month before Nima, but with startling parallels.
The DPP, Paul Rofe, called you into his office to say what?
To tell us that the charges had been dropped to manslaughter, not to murder, that we were all to be prepared that he would get a very, very light sentencing due to the fact that he was pleading it was an accident, what had happened.
I was just absolutely dumbfounded to think that somebody's life is worth 15 months.
There are many other cases which deserve the re-examination the Nima plea bargain has received. And as we've told you previously, since November, the Solicitor-General, Chris Kourakis, has been applying his mind to the Keogh case. It's a chance for our leaders to make history as the heroes or the villains in a drama being played out before us all over the proper observance of due process.
It is not enough, by the way, to say, oh, look, there is other evidence in the case that was pointed very strongly towards the guilt of Keogh. Because a trial that's tainted by any evidence that may have operated on a jury's mind to shift them to the point of being satisfied of an accused person's guilt beyond reasonable doubt taints the whole trial.
John Nader QC is a former New South Wales Supreme Court judge. And though speaking generally, let's hope his advice is heeded by the Premier and the Attorney-General.
If he allows political considerations at all to influence his decisions as the first law officer, he is failing in his duty and he's failing the people of the body politic to which he belongs.
It's a rare opportunity that a community has the chance to change a culture so entrenched and self-serving as the legal mindset in this state. But it has to be done for the right reasons. Sadly, there are plenty of them. Next week, Today Tonight will examine the extraordinary facts behind another high-profile case, that involving Scott Aitken, where a plea bargain and faulty evidence has left a family feeling betrayed by the justice system they placed so much faith in.
Hell would be the short answer. The questions that haven't been answered for them, no closure, all those doubts which must exist. It must have been a hell of an experience for them, and they deserve better.
That report next week.